Tensei Shitara Slime Datta Ken, WN, Chapter 221. Why in the world it become like this? Currently, that wasn't what in Masayuki's mind. Masayuki. Masayuki stood inside the people's cheers. Then, he tilted his neck diagonally as he was instructed to, and directed his sight downward. In about 2 seconds, he turned his face to the front slowly and meets the people's gazes. Only doing so, the increasing level of people's excitement can be felt. It was very effective to the extent of being terrifying. As expected, it's as Rimuru-san says, that's right. Masayuki's gesture just now was the result of his training under Rimuru's guidance. Grasping the people's minds, the effect of unique skill the chosen one has increased due to the calculated gesture instead of solely relying on the skill. It can't be helped for Masayuki to trembling with fear as the influence was beyond than what he expected. He just received a bit acting lesson, but the effect was too overwhelming. As soon as Yuaki turned his gaze over, the people closed their mouths. Quietly, like the waves, silence descended to this place. It was already a sight that he saw so many times. Actually, for Masayuki. Before visiting the Ingrassia Kingdom, he visited several countries around Great Jura Forest and had calmed down similar mayhem. Before the Great War begins, Masayuki was called by Rimuru and had received a request. With a carefree tone, Rimuru asked him please persuade the people in each country so they will not cause a riot. No, it's impossible for me. What are you saying, Masayuki-kun? You can do it? No, only you can do it? After such conversation, he was coaxed with don't worry. If it's you, you can do anything as you please. After that, he received a bit acting lesson. From the pose before the speech and the movement of his eyes during the speech, everything was drawn in detail in the memo given to him. Also, kyu. As expected from Masayuki Dano, it's splendid. You seem to better than a demon at grasping people's minds. You have my admiration. He gets praised by Diablo, the demon itself. He was not happy at all, but Masayuki warded off that feeling with a complicated smile. However, for some reason, Diablo was strangely pleased with Masayuki. That's right. If you are going to many countries, you will need an escort. Saying so, Diablo summoned his trusted subordinate named Venom and arranged him to accompany Masayuki. Thanks to that, his traveling to many countries was shortened due to transfer magic. On the second day, even when Velda declared that Rimuru was defeated, Masayuki was making a speech without worrying about it. In a small country, in front of the trembling populace, Masayuki was able to clear the people's anxiety very smoothly. It was because Rimuru had irresponsibly told him by some chance, I might die once, I leave the rest to you, so this and that. Venom, who was accompanying him too, even though Diablo-sama is safe, for some reason I can't contact him. But, I can't see that Mas's presence too. I'm sure that he was doing something stealthily by Diablo-sama's order. Said so and shrugged his shoulders. There was no sign of him worried at all. Certainly, if Rimuru was really destroyed, his subordinates would act more recklessly. Because Masayuki was strangely convinced, he stopped thinking about it deeply. Speaking of convinced, this also applied to Venom. For some reason, Masayuki mysteriously gets along with him. When Diablo introduced Venom to Masayuki for the first time, Venom wore an over-the-top combat clothes. Can you manage it somehow? I'm supposed to be the hero though. Ah, that's right. Then, I would better if you come with me. So, after leaving Rimuru's place, it has been decided for Venom to change clothes and both of them were going to the armor shop. At that time they conversed, but it was a talk about an unexpected thing. I guess I have a feeling that I lived in the same world as you before. So, Venom, frankly speaking, Masayuki thinks that he might be a reincarnated person. And so, he was lectured about various clothes. He asked the craftsman and got the clothes finished with the illustration that Masayuki had drawn. It was a bit of punk fashion, but strangely it looks good on Venom. Because Venom's hair is like a mohawk, it seems to be his rule to not wear a helmet. He was like a biker gang from somewhere, so Masayuki wanted to Tsukumai, but compared to how he first dressed, Masayuki thinks this one is better. Because he's a demon, he doesn't need any kind of armor, but appearance was important. Hey, aren't you have a good sense on this? Can I trouble you for it from now on? Ah, I'm glad if you liked it. His illustration that makes Venom bring out a delinquent-like atmosphere is mixed with a bit of joke, but it seems that it becomes his best favorite. It seems that he felt like he worn such clothes in his former life. That became the impetus of how Venom and Masayuki became friends. His appearance was better when compared to his previous demonic appearance, and so, Masayuki introduced Venom to his 5 companions. Oh! Have you also been charmed by Masayuki-sama's greatness? Well, of course. After all, Masayuki is a cool and wonderful person. It's because he is exuding the aura of a hero. Oh well, pleased to be with you from now on. His companions say such thing unanimously. As for Masayuki, he seems to want to say before, rather than charmed by me, people would go away, though there was no one who noticed such feelings from Masayuki among his companions. Every time, they believed Masayuki like a god. Still, recently, they gradually become friendlier and frank little by little. According to Rimuru Aranti, they come to be able to resist the effect of your unique skill. With this impetus, Masayuki wanted everyone to notice the truth soon. Putting that aside, Masayuki was glad that his companions get along with Venom. Afterwards, they requested the cooperation of the adventurers of Tempest to prevent disorder, and they scattered to each country before the Great War begins. Although it was due to Rimuru's commission, the adventurers joyfully departed to various places due to Masayuki's request, who received an acting lesson. After that, until now, including Venom, the 7 of them went around various places. And now Masayuki, who wore shining golden armor and his whole body glowed with light, was bathed in people's eyes. He gradually became accustomed to the feeling of tension, and now he can naturally accept it. It might be the result of his regular practice following Rimuru's memo for the acting and stuff. What I'm saying, it looks like the timing I aimed, anything but that please. So Masayuki thinks. Although he has accustomed to tension, Masayuki was still a timid guy. Such timing like a hero, Masayuki thought that role was not for someone like him. However, he had no one even if he wanted to complain. It can't be helped, he decided to finish this place. Everyone, please settle down. Calmly, and please tell me what happened here. Masayuki began to talk gently. Talk slowly without panicking. Even if you talk bit your tongue or somewhat stuttering, don't worry cause you can correct it. Wasn't it? Masayuki recalled the memo he had read for so many times in his mind, and he thinks there's no intense gaze coming from the citizens. Due to Masayuki's calm words, the people who calmed down regained their calm mind. In the first place, why did Hinata fight against Reiner? Although it's a fact that the king was assassinated, was the criminal really Hinata? Such doubt recurs in the people's hearts. And even for Masayuki. No, really, in this situation, what on the earth was going on? Which side is correct or wrong? Which side is the correct one I should ally with? He was actually quite perplexed. He knew about Hinata. Masayuki reached the point where he's called as the hero of the West, but he was frequently compared with Hinata, who is the holy knight leader. He had heard people argued which side is stronger as they please. Masayuki remembered Rimuru had said, Masayuki-kun, if you seriously fight her, it'd be better to run away instead. Like it was natural. She's such cool-headed and dangerous woman. But, he said that she wouldn't take a meaningless action. In contrast to Reiner, when Masayuki received the victory prize of the fighting tournament he participated in the Ingrassia Kingdom, he felt that he was a close aide to the king. He thinks that he's probably that person at that time. Masayuki wasn't sure. Either way, it's certain that he's an important figure in the country. Which side is the correct side he should side with? It was a very difficult problem. If he interferes unskillfully, the mask of the hero that he played with great effort would come off. If it happened, Masayuki was thinking to run away and return to Tempest, but he was anxious that not completing Rimuru's request would be a problem. Rimuru aside, he didn't think that it would end just with Diablo and other uttering sarcasm. Masayuki wanted to clear this place somehow smoothly. He understood it well, that's related to saving his own skin. However, the situation changed without caring about Masayuki's troubles. Oh my, isn't it Hero Masayuki Dano? It's been a while, I'm Reiner. Do you remember me? It's Reiner, the leader of Guard Knight Order. Currently I'm Reiner began to say something. As expected, Masayuki's memory is correct, he was the knight leader who's standing beside the king. Then, is the correct answer to ally with him maybe? Isn't it bad if I'm hostile against Hinata though? He didn't know that Hinata had lost her power, although she's still stronger than Masayuki. Masayuki's mind is in turmoil. But, not caring about Masayuki's problem, the conversation continued. And then, it began to show a turbulent development. Masayuki-sama. Please somehow forgive me. The king, I'm the one who lay my hands on the king. Interrupting Reiner's words, one of the soldiers come running and prostrating in front of Masayuki. I don't know what he's talking about. Masayuki wanted to reconfirm it so he's not moving carelessly. What are you blabbering about? Reiner was angry. He tries to cut down the soldier, but the children blocked him and disturbed Reiner's action. In addition, Fu Fo ha 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 ha. It's the end, I'm ruined. For some reason, Prince Elric began to confess his wrongdoing. With the testimony of the soldier who obeyed the prince's order in order to help his sick family and the confession of the prince himself, all relevant facts of the case have mostly been confirmed. This and that is all due to Masayuki's ability. Actually, Masayuki, who didn't realize it yet, has awakened a new ability. Its name is Unique Skill Messiah, Savior. It was the result of him following the memo that given to him by Rimuru, or rather it was Seal. The ability of Unique Skill Messiah, just as its name implies, was salvation. It urged the mind of the target of their crime and makes them act to attain salvation. That's realized mostly in the form of confessing their sin. This time, only the people who reacted to Masayuki's words became the target. That's triggered when Masayuki asked the explanation of what happened here. It was a terrifying ability that was convenient for Masayuki eternally. This ability of Masayuki was naturally able to be resisted by a high-ranking person. Therefore, Reiner was barely affected. Prior to that, to begin with, Reiner was Kei, Kehihai, Kehiha. I'll kill you. I'll kill you all. His mind was already in abnormal state. Reiner's bloated pride was repainted with revenge and hatred when he committed the failure in the council and tasted dread from Shana. And now, while raising a strange laughter, Reiner turned his sword towards Masayuki. He aimed at me. In a panic, Masayuki also put his hand on his sword. Actually, Masayuki's ability had increased considerably. Training in the labyrinth had eased Masayuki's strength. However, even so, Masayuki thought that he's at disadvantage against his opponent, who is the strongest knight of the Ingrassia kingdom, which is one of the large countries. How sad, for us to only able to talk through sword, he said so while giving him a side glance, as shown in his memo. Although the people seemed to be impressed by it, Reiner didn't. Die. While shouting, Reiner charged towards Masayuki. Masayuki-anshin, finish that guy off. Please show us coolly. The children's cheering was painful to his ear. Why on the earth they're so convinced that I'm strong? Although I'm protecting Hinata, please protect me too. He recalled several times that the children who were training in the labyrinth doing training for a special move. He talked about fantasy special moves such as Eternal Frozen Sword or Evil Annihilation Sword, but it seems that they thought he can really use them. Although at that time Masayuki was stronger, the children showed an abnormally rapid growth. Blessed with master class teachers like Hakura and Ajira, they were now slightly stronger than Masayuki. And yet, they still believed that Masayuki was stronger. Masayuki, who received such respect from the children, was unable to step back. Damn it. If it comes to this, I feel I'm going to die. Masayuki steeled himself. Reiner was approaching. And, at the time Reiner's sword was about to reach Masayuki, a person stood in front of Masayuki. That person was Hinata. Can you leave this guy to me? Saying so, Hinata sprouted a beautiful smile towards Masayuki.